You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And
What's your name?
Aliyah Joyce,
How old are you?
22.
What are you doing nowadays?
I just graduated from Campbell in May, so I'm working at a dental office.
How's that going?
It's going good. I mean, I don't like working where I'm from because I know everybody that comes in there.
Gotcha. So this whole concept is talking to a younger or older version of yourself. Which one are you choosing to talk to?
I talk to my younger self.
What are you saying to the younger Aliyah Joyce?
What I'm saying to my younger self would probably be that you don't have to give people reasons to love you, like using your body or buying your friendships or anything like that. I guess what I would tell myself it because when I was 13 years old, my mom had messed around on my dad. If we're gonna be honest here, I'm just gonna talk freely with y'all. She messed around with someone and she got pregnant with my brother. And obviously, when she got pregnant, my dad was upset, and so we moved out. We moved into a 2-bedroom apartment, it was my mom and it was me and my younger sister. And when we moved out of the house away from my dad, I didn't have structure, I guess. And I mean, of course, I care about my mom's opinion, but I wasn't afraid of my mom like I was my dad. So when we moved out, like, I was used to being around just my mom. And even at that time, even though she was pregnant by someone else, I still had been so used to being around all the different guys that my mom would be around. And I feel like you're most impressionable when you are young. And so I thought that was love. I had seen my mom be around so many different guys, and I had seen different men lure her in with gifts and stuff like that. And she would just be with all these different guys. And so just at a young age, I learned that I thought that was how you receive love, by giving yourself away and stuff like that. And so, and also not having my dad around showing me what men should and should not do. And I also didn't go stay with my dad like on the weekends or anything like that. I was always with my mom, and my mom worked a lot. If she wasn't at work, she was probably hanging out with the guy, even being pregnant. So I was just doing whatever. Literally, I was only 13 years old, but I was doing whatever. Like, I was dating this guy who was 4 years older than me. First of all, he was a junior in high school and I was in 8th grade. I'm not kidding. And so already, like, I was kind of exposed to a lot, talking to older guys and everything. And so I guess right before I turned 14, which was my birthday is in June, and so this was right before school was letting out and everything for the summer. I remember they were doing some kind of testing. This was like in May, or the 1st of June. And I remember they were doing some kind of testing, so I didn't have to go to school. And so I stayed at home, and my mom was at work. And so I had invited my then boyfriend over, who was 4 years older than me, like I said. And like, I wasn't even sure if I was ready to have sex. Like, I felt like I felt like I just kind of did it just because, like, we had never even talked about it beforehand. We never, like, tried anything beforehand, like, nothing. Like, it literally just, he came over and we did it, like, and that was that. And I don't know how it happened. We ended up breaking up like right after that. And like, already, I mean, if you're a female, you kind of know like what it's like when you lose your virginity and everything. Like, you just, I don't know, like you kind of just feel like a missing piece or whatever. And after that, like, I was hurt by him not being with me and everything, and just breaking up. And I was just seeking like instant fulfillment after that. So literally, after we had sex, which was only a few weeks before I turned 14, yeah, I was really young. And I ended up just getting into a cycle of like giving myself away over and over again. I guess he had told people that he had did it with me and everything. And I didn't even know this until like later on when school started, when I went to high school, that he had recorded me. And I didn't know this. And so like I had several older guys trying to do it with me, and they were just like telling me all these things that you want to hear, making me feel loved and everything like that. And I got to a place where I didn't feel like my worth was defined by anything else other than what I could give to someone, and that was my body. So I ended up giving myself away like several times after that to different guys, and like I just got to a place where like I really didn't even know how to receive true love. And and trust me, like, I suppressed it then when I was in high school and everything, but when I got to college, it all came out. Like those feelings of being insecure and feeling not enough just started to come out. It just started to unravel. And so if I could tell myself something, it would be to love yourself. Like, I wish people couldn't get inside my head as easy as they could, because it didn't take much for me to just fall into these guys' arms. Like, it didn't take much at all. And I settled for a lot in different relationships, and different situationships, if that's what you want to call it, because a lot of times people weren't willing to make me their girlfriend, but I was doing everything as if I was their girlfriend. And so here I am, 22 years old, still learning, was still trying to heal from from things that I did when I was 13 up until now. Like, I wish I loved myself enough to know that I don't have to do that. Like, if someone wants to be with me, like, they'll accept me for all that I am. They won't try to, like, get me into a bed to show that their love for me. And like, there were so many times where I would say to myself, I wish I didn't look like how I look, because maybe then they wouldn't try to talk to me. Maybe, like, it was up until now, I would feel like sometimes I wouldn't even want to look at myself. I felt disgusted with myself because so many people had seen and experienced something that's supposed to be confined to marriage. And so when you give something that's supposed to be special away, like, so many times, like, it's like you become numb, and you don't even, you're kind of just like in relationships trying to fill a void, um trying to make other people happy. And I wish that I wasn't such a people pleaser. I wish that I knew for myself that I'm enough. I'm loved. I'm worthy. No matter what people say or whatever. Like, I've had so many people, guys that I have, like, talked to or whatever, and then I tell them, well, I want to wait until marriage, and then they have the audacity to say to me, well, I have desires, and, like, I want to have sex. Like, what if you've already had sex? What's the purpose of waiting now? It's not gonna, like, change anything. And and then, because I didn't know my worth, I would be like, okay, well, I guess you're right. I guess maybe it won't change anything, so I might as well have sex. And so I settled in a lot of relationships, and it wasn't until I started knowing who I was, and knowing who I was in Christ, um until I really, like, stood my ground and said, no, our relationship is not going to be just sex, because it's more to me than that. And yeah, that's mainly what I would say to my younger self. Like, you don't have to give yourself away or prove anything to anyone for someone to love you. If they love you, they'll love you without, you know um um having sex with you. They'll love you for just you. And but see, the thing is, though, the enemy, like, he is very deceitful in the things that he does, and he'll use your past against you. And it took me a long time to kind of ignore what the enemy was saying to me, because I didn't feel like um God loved me in spite of me. And so I would continue committing the same sin over and over again, because I didn't think that there would be a life past that. So I just would always believe the lies that were in my head. Like, because I've had people tell, like I said before, why are you trying to change now? Why are you trying to wait now? You've already had sex. You've already committed that sin. And I would be like, okay, yeah, you're right. But see, God offers restoration, and through him you're made a new person. And so you don't have to believe the lies that the enemy said. Like, the enemy does want to keep you, in his, I guess, like, chokehold. He just wants to keep you where you are. He wants to make you feel like you are not good enough, and that if you've already messed up, it's too late now. But that doesn't matter. Like, you can still move forward and be a better person. You don't have to be in those chains and bound um, to the things that you've done. And so, yeah, that's just what I would say to my younger self. Um, yeah, you're loved, you're worthy, and you don't have to believe that your body is what makes you loved. You're more than that.